Alright everybody, welcome to Blades in the Dark, week number 14. My name's Matt. I'm joined by Ian, Michael, Emily, and Anthony. And we are here to continue the process of our downtime actions that we started to take last week, as well as hop into the next set of action. This week featuring karaoke by Ian, singing his favorite song, Build That Wall. And here we see Ian drinking his sorrows away, realizing that he's just sang on live stream. How's everyone doing today?
Could leave.
How's everyone doing?
I'm great.
Great.
Great. We're great, Matt.
Awesome.
Great.
I'm glad to hear that. How about we go around and check in with everybody? Ian, let's start with you, man. How are you? How have you been this last week?
Little bored. This last week has been a little busy for me. I ended my internship. My birthday was on Sunday, so other than that, I've just been pretty much bored out of my... Well, I mean, not bored out of my mind. I've had plenty to do at home, but, you know, not having my job is kind of different.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I'm in between jobs right now, but when I'm not being productive, I'm watching The Wire. So
No, I need to watch that show.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both need to watch that. I haven't seen it, and apparently it's
I
like very
started
relevant
it.
to this. What?
No. I started it like
Damn.
a year or two ago.
Oh, okay.
One of my old college professors gave me like an entire DVD set of it, which I still have, but you know, she can't fail me because I graduated.
Wow, you just straight up stole your professor's movie collection.
Yup.
I
No, it
can't
just
I
means
can't
that
judge you.
I
I
have to
have
hang
your
out with
friend's
this
Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 3 that I haven't.
You do?
Yeah, I still have it on my shelf. So.
He's gonna come for my blood.
Oh
You better
gosh,
send that back
I hope
to him.
not.
Whoa.
Alright, it's Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
IRL.
yeah.
Invented.
Well, I heard that Ian makes art, and maybe if you have something you'd like commissioned in the art style of Ian, which I'm sure he could post on Twitter later, right, Ian? Maybe he would be, you know, commissioned for such an act while he's between jobs.
sure.
Chat. No pressure. I know you guys are playing role-playing games. I know you want your parties drawn. Don't you lie to me. Don't hide. I see you, lurker. Anyway, Mike, how you doing, man?
Hello. I definitely wasn't just muted during that conversation trying to say things about The Wire,
Oh, that's probably for the best, though.
but it's okay. I was saying it's on Amazon Prime. I think the entire series is
That's where I'm watching it.
in Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, which you should because it's a fantastic deal, we are not sponsored by Amazon, but Amazon
It could be Amazon. I
You're
see you
listening.
lurking.
call us.
We'll think about it.
Yeah.
Gotta-
Oh, yeah,
gotta
yeah, sorry.
hardball
Yeah,
it.
We'll get
Anthony.
back
We'll think
to
about it.
I
I'm
would
so
like
thankful
to-
for Anthony.
I would like to sway Amazon.com.
They're tier 5.
You're giving it all up, Mike.
We
No.
lost that sponsorship.
I'm doing pretty all right. I've done a few things this week. Most notably, I bought a whole lot of paracord, 1,000 feet of it to be
Why?
specific.
I like how we played a one-shot of Apocalypse World, and the most notable thing that you've done is buy 1,000 feet of paracord.
Damn.
Okay, to be
Oh.
fair,
This could be
I
very
think
interesting paracord.
maybe what I should have said is one of the notable things that I did this week is buy 1,000 feet of paracord. But I also played a one-shot of Apocalypse World, which, in my defense, Ian didn't mention either when he was asked how his week was. He's like, yeah, I didn't do much of anything. Because apparently,
He's got a point.
you know...
Solid
So-
point.
Yeah, that was great. So, I've heard through the grapevine that there's a chance that we might be streaming a one-shot of Apocalypse World next week in the absence of Blades in the Dark.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. And so that should be fun. We might see the same characters that we played this last Friday. We might not. I enjoyed playing the character that I played. I played a gun
I want to
lugger.
see one in particular, and you probably know which one I want to see.
Oh yeah, you want to see the periwinkle, obviously.
Yeah, I do.
A what?
The
You know we're live.
That's
right?
what I thought when I heard the name too.
The periwinkle is a character that one of my good friends Matt played. Not the wonderful Matt that you see before you, hosting this grand event known as Blades in the Dark, but another Matt, who I know.
One of
Very-
several who you know.
We know a lot of Matts.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Matts.
I've heard it's a pretty common name. I wouldn't know. I don't run into Matts literally every day of my life, but
It's like Matt. Matt turns around. No, not you. The
That-
other Matt.
that's literally every day for me. Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
it.
Other than that, I started playing through Splinter Cell Conviction again the other day because
Isn't that the one that's super bugged?
Blacklist is the one that's
Okay.
super bugged. So
Trying to remember
there's
which
a
one
couple
Conviction is.
different ways that I could evaluate Splinter Cell Conviction. I could evaluate it on the merits of it being a Splinter Cell game, or I
The
could
game's a
not
blast.
do that. On the merits of it being a Splinter Cell game, it's a piece of shit. Doesn't deserve to carry the Splinter Cell name,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty good video game.
How do you
know,
really
That's
feel,
so
Mike?
fun.
Yeah, fuck
That's
you,
a fun
Anthony. That's
game.
basically what he just said.
I guess so.
Excuse me. Apparently you weren't listening. I said it's a pretty good game on its own, but it's a pretty shit Splinter Cell game.
Well, so am I, but.
Uh,
You know,
All right.
I enjoy that game in a way that is different than why I enjoy Splinter Cell Chaos Theory
Mhm.
or Pandora Tomorrow, for instance.
Sure.
Cool.
So
Cool. Why aren't you live streaming your playthrough?
I don't know, because it's hard work to live stream.
Because he likes it in a different way than the other games.
Oh. Anyway, Emily, how are you? Gosh, wow. And you know what? Actually, we gotta go. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate your time and you being here. We'll see you 2 weeks from now. Just kidding,
Perfect.
we're
When we'll all get our shit together.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a week for Apocalypse World. GM'd by Johnson.
Yeah, Emily, how about you? How about you tell us what you're up to?
I am up to turning 24 years old next week, which
Yeah.
is why I won't be here and Blades of the Dark won't be here. So
Why I won't be here?
sorry, that's true.
She's our Yoko.
Yo,
You
yo.
didn't kill the
I-
Beatles.
I don't know.
Like,
So now we have to figure out who is who in this
Yikes.
situation.
Well, I don't want to be Ringo, because
Yeah,
he's
I
like
don't-
the most mediocre drummer in the world.
You're the most mediocre drummer?
No, what?
oh,
What?
You did it to
We gotta-
yourself.
We gotta
man.
go. Bye, bye, everybody. Thanks. We're leaving again.
Entrapment over here.
Wow. Wow. I trusted you. Okay.
I was asking what you said.
I said because Ringo is the most average, mediocre drummer in the world.
And she said you too.
Yeah, that's what happened basically.
We all heard it, right? Okay.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Yeah,
if anyone wants to see a very well taken photograph of Matt Dennis drumming,
Michael, I
Yeah.
swear to God, we can find a new GM.
Oh.
for the record, I'm pretty sure he still has it on his shelf on display.
No,
You don't? Gosh
No.
dang it.
A
course not.
picture of yourself?
Yeah.
fucking
Drumming.
Anthony, how are you?
I'm great, man.
Good, dude.
I made it here tonight.
Yeah.
That is a miracle. I'm alive. It's less of a miracle.
Well, I don't know. I think that's pretty miraculous.
Well, it is amazing
Wow.
if you think about it.
You know
True.
something that we don't, Matt? Why his being alive is miraculous?
Because Anthony's my baby boy.
Hey.
Right. You hire some shadows to take him out or something?
What? No.
Assassins?
What? No. No.
Well, in my non-assassinated life,
Mhm.
I've been
The best timeline.
brewing some sweet magic decks. That's about it.
Bruin.
You know, hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
They got to
It's a-
simmer for about 12 hours before
It's
they're
a-
ready to go.
It's a good time
Or 12
to be
minutes.
brewing new magic
Oh,
decks,
yeah.
especially for modern right now.
And standard and EDH.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Legacy.
EDH is always a Brewers format, though. Like,
It's true.
it's never
Is,
a format that can be solved.
I can't remember. Is the new Harmless Pact, is that standard or modern?
That's standard deck, my friend, which is
Yeah.
nuts.
I was hoping that it was modern.
No, well, yeah, you could play it in modern, right? Like, it's technically modern legal. You could make some
It'd be
changes.
better.
Yeah, you could run Serum Visions instead of Oath of Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the bad cards in the deck could be better cards.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt, I hear, is a good card. So
Although the
Yeah.
win con dodges some removal.
most.
It's not that much enchantment removal.
Oh yeah, Wear Tear, but that's
Wear Tear in the
that's a niche
sideboard.
card. Yeah,
Maelstrom Pulse is like the best card that actually hits your win con.
true. Or Engineered Explosives, but that takes a lot of mana. So
Yeah.
anyway, so you've been brewing some decks. Anything else?
No.
All right. Cool. I myself have had a very roller coaster week. Emily and I went to a wedding this weekend. It was beautiful. It was lovely. For those of you that don't know, Emily and I are planning our own wedding, and that is stressful. But it's always good to go get some field research done, if you will, when
Yes.
you go to other people's weddings. So we learned some things, took some notes. But more than that, like we've just been adulting super hard this week. We went to an open house earlier this week and looked at a place, and it's so good. I'm
And it's
having
money.
I know. I'm having a really, really hard time not just being like, it's mine already, because I just love, like, when you're looking for a home, you're going to find a place that you really like. And if that's the first one, you're going to look like an idiot like me. Because I feel like an idiot. Because every time someone asks me about it, I'm like, let me tell you about this place. It's sweet. So
Got a table you can draft magic on.
yes.
There would be room for that sort of a table.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
been
Perfect
discussed.
for
So-
Emily to learn how to play Magic the Gathering on.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And there are
Dope.
3 bedrooms, which I could lock
Also learn
myself
to play
in
Magic
one
in.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the two. So, to be entirely honest, chat, I'm very stressed at the current moment. My stress threshold is nearing its peak.
We are on the verge of trauma.
Yeah, we're definitely. Yeah, I'm at 7 out of 8 stress, and trauma
How
is
many cards in your
incoming.
graveyard?
Ooh, like 30. I'm definitely at
Woo!
delirium.
Oh,
Like-
and Threshold.
Oh yeah, and we just have a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna be going to the coast this weekend to try to relax, maybe. Try, but we'll see what
Just
actually happens as far as me being able to like not just be like. So, yeah. So I've got a lot going on in my head.
We'll go
but
play Pokemon Go. That's what we'll
yeah,
do.
yeah, totally good idea. But I think I can speak for us all when I say that I'm very excited to play Blades in the Dark again and get back into it. So, Mike, why don't you give us a little recap about where we're at in the storyline?
Storyline? What's that? What's the storyline?
The story so far.
Well, the story so far, you guys are a crew of shadows, formerly known as thieves, who have taken it upon yourselves to try to climb through the ranks of the Duskwall underbelly criminal world. And so far, you've been successful?
What? What do you mean successful?
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're climbing, you know? But yeah, last time we did some downtime following a successful ambush and sabotage of a boat carrying some spirits. One of our beloved characters, Sir Oscar, was taken out of the action because it was just a very intense series of events for him during that score, because he's very connected to the spirit trafficking. Not in the sense that he does spirit trafficking, but it's a very emotionally tense thing for him to deal with, and so he got taken out of the action. And we will be seeing and being introduced to his new character hopefully this session.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with giving him downtime actions if he's willing to accept them,
I don't see why my character would have downtime actions.
because he's a person who does things.
Well, but not. He hasn't done things already.
Oh, he has. They just haven't been on screen.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay, sure. We can talk about doing downtime after Wacasis does his.
We'll do Anthony / Wacasis' downtime first, and that's where we will jump in. So, Wacasis, how do you spend this next undetermined period of time?
The next one,
What do you want to do during your downtime?
de-stress a lot.
Okay.
I will indulge my vice. I get 2 actions.
Yeah, 2
plus the
unless
third, the free one that I get. That I
right?
could give to someone. I'll see how
Yeah.
de-stressed I get first.
And if you want to do any more than that, then you can spend coin or accrue reputation, or
Okay.
rep, technically, because rep and reputation are not the same thing.
So, I would like to indulge my vice.
Okay.
I think Wacasis wants to gamble and win. Well,
Wants to
he wants to gamble, which is winning. So I will seek out a gambling den.
Okay.
The new sheet's so nice, but I'm looking for
What do you seek?
Clyra.
Oh, the tavern owner.
Yeah, does she have
she do
card
any-
tables?
Probably. Yeah.
They just added more stuff about those characters.
Let's see, we can also check the official purveyors of Vice to see which she would probably go to.
Yeah.
So for gambling, you have things like Spog's Dice Game, Grist Boxing, Helena at the Silver Stag Casino, Master of Ren for Hound Racing, or Lady Dusk for the Dusk Manor Club. So those are a few of our Vice purveyors for gambling.
I think we'll go to the casino this time.
Clams
Let's
Casino.
blackjack. Yeah, I hope so.
Can I get a witness?
Be very relaxing.
Now your vice, as written on your character sheet, is pleasure. Correct?
Correct.
So, because pleasure and gambling are 2 separate vices technically.
I take great pleasure in my gambling.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's all about indulgences of any kind. Like,
Okay.
if I'm gambling, I'm drinking,
Hmm.
and and if I'm drinking, I'm gambling. There's like no, there's no hard line in the pleasure.
Sure.
For
So-
cases.
Okay. Is this more of a high-end gambling?
Casino is mid to high end, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my envisioning of it, he's not going to White Crown to play high rollers at poker,
Silver,
but he's not going to play craps either. You know?
Silver Stag maybe then?
Yeah, he's punching straightforward.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your lowest acting rating.
My lowest what? Action rating?
Yeah.
So he said, okay.
Yeah, whatever your lowest
So anything with 0?
attribute or action.
It should be like,
Attribute.
which is your lowest insight, resolve, or prowess?
Oh, insight.
That's correct.
So I just roll one of those.
Yep. Whatever's your
Okay.
lowest, so that's probably insight. All right. So 2 is your highest, so you get to clear 2 stress.
Okay. If it will let me clear it. It's being very stubborn. Okay, there we go. I would like to indulge my vice some more.
Okay. Yeah, same roll. So you're spending a lot of time doing
Oh,
it.
a lot of time gambling.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're
Can I
spend-
increase the effect with coin or just take additional rolls on it?
We talked about that a little bit last week, didn't we? I think we
you
just
can.
said that
You can also. Yeah, you can also increase the effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a flavorful way I could be gambling with my money, but I will just take another roll on my insight.
So yeah, you can spend a coin to increase that to basically a 5.
Okay. I'll just take the second insight roll on my other use of it.
Okay.
Get down to 1 stress. That's much better. And
So you don't want to overindulge, you know? That's all fun.
No.
I don't.
Okay.
And then
And you have that new ability. What is that? Like careful planning or something like that?
Hmm.
That
can
allows
I
you.
can I let people take their downtime actions and see if there's something we can accomplish with my extra token before I just use it on something?
Well, everyone else already did their downtimes except for you
Oh,
and
okay.
me.
Sure.
We can also retroactively grant an additional downtime action to someone who's already gone if you want.
I think I'd like to train.
Okay.
Which of the ones do we have? We have
We have
insight training.
insight and resolve,
Resolve, yeah.
or prowess and resolve. Sorry.
Prowess and resolve.
Yeah.
I'll take. How many experience ticks do I get for that?
2.
2.
It's 2.
Doors.
Closer. Can I? How much coin would it cost to get me another tick of experience?
Let me see here. So you're training
Basically, get me a level
Mark
on a prowess skill.
1 XP. Me do that. Increase the effect by spending coins. So it would just give you. Do we think just 1 coin for 1 more experience? Is that how I want to roll that? Because it's not too
Seems
clear.
expensive, but that's fine with me.
Yeah, I think that's something that we can decide as a group if how much we want the coin to XP cost to be for training. If you want to do any additional.
So you want to charge a coin for an extra XP?
Well, because you can spend coin to increase the effect, right?
Sure. I just didn't know the training had like an increased effect thing, but
Yeah, I honestly don't know how that works because, like Matt's saying, it doesn't have an effect.
Sure.
Because you could also just spend the XP to do another training to get, like...
yeah, like you could just spend a coin, do an
Oh,
extra
sure.
downtime, and then you get 2 instead of 1.
Oh, it's 1 coin. Yeah, I'll do that.
Well, you can only train 1 rating once for a downtime. So you could do, like, 1 resolve and
sure.
1 prowess, and that would get
Okay.
you, like, 2 of each.
Sure. I'll do that. I'll spend 1 coin to do that. And I have a pretty good concept for how cases would do that.
Okay.
Wacasis followed Silas to the concert that he got in a fight in, and got in a fight.
Okay.
He wasn't
Oh,
really
boys.
part of the reason that fight happened.
Just
Somebody
started,
stepped on
you
his
joined
shoe, and then people started fighting. So he took a swing at the guy that stepped on his shoes. To train his prowess.
Nice.
Very cool. So, what do you want us to know about your activities that occurred before the score? Because you did some dealings with the Bluecoats.
Let me scroll back to my description of it. The intention. Wacasis has some, connections and observations of Bluecoat detectives,
Mhm.
and he had previously had a connection with the Bluecoat we discussed last time. What did we decide his name was? Dennis?
Detective
decided-
Dennis.
Yeah,
Detective
Dennis.
Detective Dennis.
Dennis Berger.
Dennis Berger.
Burger.
And Dennis Berger, Wacasis, knows him, so he went to his precinct, I guess you would say, to follow a lead. The only lead he had was the names of a couple of detectives that were allegedly casing the body and the crime scene that his cousin was found dead in, or rather, his dead body was found. And Detective Dennis Berger, did not know who those detectives were and could find no record of their names existing in the police files. So, for all Wacasis knows, they're not real detectives. However, while he was there, he recognized some of the detectives that frequent the cafe for the croissants. And he approached them. And do we want to roleplay any of these things, or should I just continue to summarize my exposition?
I'm fine with either. If you want to roleplay, then we can. But if you want to just summarize, and then we can try to, and then get through more, then we can. I'm fine with either.
Okay. Wacasis obviously would bring croissants with him to the police station instead of a gun. When he's doing business.
Makes
And
sense.
approached the detectives and introduced himself and introduced the Gambit to them as a legitimate business venture.
By the Gambit, you mean the straight, like the cafe, or
Mhm.
okay.
himself as affiliated with it,
Sure.
and as a part owner.
Yeah.
And leveraged their love of the delicious croissants into a conversation about the future of the Strait and the rest of the group's activities in the area. Basically to pay for police protection. Or rather, to pay for some of the cops to avoid the area in which we're doing our most illegal activities, and to look out for us in the areas where we're doing our most legitimate, which would be our shipping area and our cafe, respectively.
Mhm.
There were a lot of cops around, so Cases didn't really care for that, which meant that when he was finished with that business and returned to the group at the beginning of our score, he found their plan in action, and the police left the scene, which obviously had benefits to the score going down the way it did. And
Thank you.
basically trying to buy off the cops. Yes.
Yep.
So he didn't find what he was looking for at the police station, which is why I'm not actually going to spend any of my downtime this session on Wacasis' project.
Where you
because he
were,
doesn't have any leads.
where you were at the police station, when you left, were there police with you, or did you guys leave and then get into a buggy all together, or?
Yeah, they took me home.
Okay, so when you exited the police station, just like these other guys had an experience last time, there was a man sitting against up against the curb, just a metal tin cup in front of him, covered in a shawl. And as you come out, he says, "Can you spare a coin for a friend?"
And he holds the cup up.
The cup is sitting there.
Wacasis looks at him and
Do the police look
looks at
too?
his- I don't think they do.
Okay.
They just keep walking to their buggy.
Sure.
I mean, he's always there, right?
No.
I mean, they've seen beggars before. They don't
Yeah.
look at them.
Yeah, beggars.
That's how
are
you get by in
normal.
the city.
Yeah.
And Wacasis, it's sort of caught off guard because it's right by the police station. It's kind of a weird spot for somebody that's...
Right, and you didn't see him when you walked in
Hang out.
too. He just
Mhm.
must have got there.
So he, looks at his box of croissants and sees the two left, and takes one out and tears off, half of it or so, and
Mhm.
eats it, and puts the other croissant in his cup, and holds the half-eaten one up, offers it to him.
So wait, you ate one half, you put the full one in the cup, and then you offered the other half. He takes the
He
other
still
half.
wanted some. Okay.
Yeah, he takes the other half and he looks at it and you can only see shadow where his face is, and he just says, "Thank you, friend," and he holds it.
Cases just sort of scampers off after the cops.
Right, yeah, they load you into the buggy and head off towards the Strait. There's probably a conversation along the way, just them shooting the shit with you about how good the croissants are, and how they're really looking forward to continuing to give you their business.
And theirs.
Cool.
I butter them up real good.
Yeah.
I
Croissants
butter
or the
the
cops?
croissants are. Oh, yes.
They are thoroughly buttered.
Excellent.
there anything else that you wanted to try to accomplish during your downtime?
I think that about covers it. Except that I'm spending coin and training. Okay, I'm good.
Just make sure, like, even when you're spending coin to increase the results of downtime actions, the same thing applies for if it's in your stash. You have to take 2 out of your stash for it to equal 1.
I'm spending from my personal
Yeah.
self. So
Yeah, so if you got it on your person, that's fine. It's only 1. Just always be taking note that if you have it marked as coin on your person, that counts for load. Each coin counts for 1 load. So.
Cool.
All right.
So, as the camera cuts to Wakasis and the cops in their little buggy, it does like this opposite shot where like across the street shot where like the beggar was on the other side of the street and the carriage pulls away and the beggar is just sitting there with the half a croissant in his hand, and he you see him reach under his shawl and do like some sort of motion here, and then he eats it, and then he takes the one out of his cup and he like opens it up and looks at it, and then there's a passerby, let's just say that because there are people walking around, there's a passerby and it's a small child, and the child is clearly not well off either, and he hands half of the croissant to the child, like rubs his head and then pats him on the back to like be like, okay, keep on going, and he eats the rest of the croissant that he had in his hand, and he leaves the tin cup there on the ground and he walks away. And as he's walking away, we have a camera angle view of like the back of him, and the shawl comes off, and he's a very well-dressed man, and he's got like a vest on, and like his pants are like black jeans, I guess. Like it looks like under the shawl that he was wearing, like you could have seen a bit of the jeans and it wouldn't have looked like anything too special, but now that you see him, you see that he's in very nice clothing. And you also see him take off of a mask, and we're going super cinematic here. The camera then pans to him holding the mask. There's a mask in a hand, and he's got his fingers in each of the eyes, and it's like a white mask with like tears running down the front, which we as the audience would maybe not know, but the city would know as a that is a mask that patrons of the Church of the Weeping Lady wear. I saw Leandri's in the Skype chat and got distracted, Anthony. But it is a little bit like that. It's like a plain white mask with like a tear running down it. And you guys can learn about that more as you read it. But basically, it's a church that is all about being charitable and giving to those who are in need. So he walks down past the station, and he just kind of, he doesn't say anything to anyone. He's very like walking straight forward, and he goes to a fire escape and goes up the fire escape, and then on the roof there's a rifle and a blanket, and he lays down at it and he sits there, and then we see through his scope what he's looking at is the Strait, and he's watching the Strait, and we see the events of the score occur from his perspective, and he's just watching it. He never fires a shot or anything. He's just watching. And when he sees Oscar go down, he sees what happened with Willie's spirit kind of retching out of its out of Oscar's body, and he has a flashback to a moment where he's on a roof holding a rifle, and he fires a shot at somebody, and then it cuts to you can tell it's hours later. He's still in the same position, just watching the same spot, and then he sees the spirit of this guy rise out, and the guy, the beggar, he loads another round into his rifle, and he fires it at the spirit, and the spirit dissipates around the bullet, and that's sort of our introduction to Giuseppe, who you wouldn't know his name, but that's how we see him, and that's sort of how I want to narrate his downtime action of gathering information and also training.
Okay.
Because he was gathering information not only just about the score, but like that's his nature. It's just to explain that like his nature is never to approach something full contact forward until he has information. So he's gathering information on whatever our next thing is. But also you can tell that he's spent a lot of time training for what he does.
Okay. Beautiful. I think this is also a good opportunity for me to kind of try to give all you guys an update on some of the goings-on in Duskfall as of late that you guys would have heard about either through, just overheard conversations, discussions like at the gambling tables for Wakasis, at the club for Silas, and all those various things. So probably.
And real quick, sorry, I just want to make sure I have this. The training is going to be insight.
Okay.
And I can take a third point in something, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You just can't go to 4 without
Right.
the master.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So you all would have heard probably the thing that would have stood out most to you, at least I think, would be that Bazo Baz's headquarters was attacked, and it seems like no one for sure knows who it was.
But they're still at war with the Red Sashes, right?
But they're still at war with the Red
Okay.
Sashes, and the rumor is that what is it, Malira, the head of the Red Sashes,
Yeah.
was personally leading the attack.
Maybe on a boat that was pretty heavy.
With explosives. And...
There was no explosives involved, but the rumors are that the headquarters of the Lamp Blacks, that's the name that I'm forgetting, was assaulted by a fairly large force of men, and it required
any survivors.
Yeah. So it seems like the Lamp Blacks were able to fight off the assault, and the two sides, dispersed. Each side had survivors, and each side had a pretty significant number of casualties as well.
Okay,
Are there any eggs?
Are there any eggs? Doom eggs?
Doom eggs? No Doom eggs.
For my gather information, can I have gathered information with one of the survivors of the attack?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to meet with one of the Lamp Blacks.
Okay.
Shall we roleplay that?
Let me just. We got to make your roll for the gather information first.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Sorry, I forget how that works.
The quality of your info.
Yeah. Which roll do I roll?
So you're going to be making an action roll using whatever action you think best suits the kind of gathering information that you would have done.
Okay. I would like to use Prowl, and the Prowl would like to be, I'm going to find this man in an alleyway, grab him from behind, and not interrogate him, but like make my presence known very stealthily, only to him when he's alone.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll Prowl.
Okay. Oh yeah. What's the position?
Position for this one. Let's see. What's your Prowl rating?
2.
Prowling 2. Approaching from a dark alley. I would say, I'd put this at either controlled or risky.
Okay.
One of the two.
Probably.
Let's put it at controlled for now.
Sure. And the effect?
Standard effect for now.
Isn't it? Hold on. Just want to double check the gather info. I get +1 effect.
For one of your abilities?
No, because I took gather info in the rulebook says you spend extra time to gather information, you get +1 effect. Take +1d if a friend or contact helps you.
So that'd be +1 effect, like if you're gathering information for a score. If you gather information on that score, you get +1 effect, like on the engagement roll for the score.
Oh, I don't just get +1 effect on the actual roll itself?
I mean, that doesn't. No, you don't,
Okay,
because
okay.
it's like, oh, you can you can do gather information to get +1 effect on your gather information roll.
Right. Well, I thought that it was because it's a downtime action. You're kind of sacrificing
Okay.
that to do it. I could be wrong. I just
Let me
was
see
my
if I can look it
interpretation.
up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gather info. That's on page.
It is on page 37 on the new rulebook.
Yeah. So it's common knowledge the GM will simply answer your questions. When a gather info is rolled made during downtime, you get a +1 dice when a friend or contact is involved, and you spend dice to increase the results. Yeah, so it doesn't say that you get +1 effect for doing it during downtime. So, and the effect, for gather information is going to be determined by, it's going to be determined by the roll, but put the effect as standard for the roll prompt.
Sure. Okay.
One and
Yikes.
two. All right. Now, can you spend coin to increase the effect of that? I think you can.
Yeah.
Because it says downtime action. So you could spend a coin to increase the result level.
Increase a 2 to like a 4, like I succeed, but
A standard effect.
One thing to note is that I only have 1 coin. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, so just standard information then. So what you're able to determine from
Can we-
interrogating.
Can we role
What?
play it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, there's. I was trying to figure out how to get rid of my coin in my playbook. So yeah, this guy, I imagine after surviving, he's pretty rattled, because the attack was intense or whatever, and he's maybe walking out of a bar or something, and he decides to take a shortcut down one of the many dark alleys of Duskfall, and we see Giuseppe, like sitting in his beggar's shawl, in the alley next to like a dumpster, basically, like it's next to a trash pit, and he's just sitting there. And when he hears the drunk footsteps come down the alleyway, because it's pretty quiet at this time at night, he actually just takes the shawl and like he kind of scoots himself back into the trash, and he like sits among the trash, lord of the trash, and he
Trash
waits.
lord.
Yeah, and he waits for the guy to pass him, and then he actually just like he flings a rock like in front of the guy, and the rock bounces off of like a pipe or something, and it makes a really loud noise, which is just loud enough for him to be shocked and focused on that. So Giuseppe then like stands up, and he just basically walks up behind the guy, puts his hand over his mouth, and is just like, "I'm not here to hurt you. I need to know what you're doing and what happened to you. Sit with me. Trust me, you will not be hurt." And he like turns his head and shows like the mask that he's wearing. Which again, it's just a symbol. It's not a symbol that he won't kill him. It's just a symbol of like, generally speaking, this guy's like gracious toward people who are unfortunate, or having unfortunate things. So it may not be the best form of a reassurance, but it is a slight one.
Okay.
So that's what he asks.
So yeah, you put your hand over his mouth, and he is startled, and so he jumps initially, but you probably have a pretty solid hold of him, so he can't get away, and he calms down after a second and just nods his head at you like he's willing to cooperate for now.
I take my hand off his mouth, but I like hold it up like it's like a, like I will put my hand right back over your mouth, but Giuseppe's not holding any weapons or anything. He doesn't have anything like brandished.
Okay.
Like certainly he has weapons, but he's just not brandishing anything. So he holds it up and he says, "When you are attacked, presumably by Melira, tell me, how did they do it?"
He kind of just, when you take your hand off and you ask him, and he kind of, brushes off his shoulders for a second. He's like, "Jesus Christ, man, there's a better way to ask a guy for a conversation, you know?"
This seems to have been effective.
It's like, God, fine. What do you want to know? Yeah, we were attacked
like I said,
by...
I need to know how it happened. Trust me, I am a friend.
They came off the water, and initially, didn't seem like too much was off, but just a boat came down the canal, and all of a sudden there was just dozens of guys just coming out of the boat, and they overwhelmed our outer forces pretty much instantaneously, and routed us to inside the warehouse. We barely had time to get any messengers out to try to call for reinforcements. They outnumbered us probably 2-1 initially.
Where are your reinforcements in correlation to your home base?
Scattered throughout the city.
Understood. Now tell me about the boat that attacked you.
Just a regular ass boat, man. I wasn't there at the river when the boat came. I was somewhere else. But this is all I got from talking to everyone else who was there, who was involved. They say it was just a regular looking boat.
How many men were lost on your side?
Thanks for a second. 20, 30.
Giuseppe, you can't see behind the mask, of course, but he has a face of shock. He's like, holy shit, that's a lot of dudes. And he says, and how are you? How are you faring after this?
He holds up the bottle of booze that he's carrying. as though that's
Sure,
kind of
it's
like
a signal.
his answer.
Giuseppe says, that is fair. If you require more assistance that is not in a bottle, you know where to find me. And then
No, I don't.
weeping lady mask. He knows where the Church of the Weeping Lady is. It's not like a hidden thing somewhere. So
Okay.
that's what he's implying by it. He's not saying you know where to find me, like you know where to find me. And then Giuseppe reaches out his hand to shake his hand and says, "Thank you and be well."
He shakes your hand.
And then Giuseppe walks the other way.
Cool. So yeah, that's probably the biggest news that you guys have heard as of late. Is that basically confirmed that Miller is alive. You guys had figured that already because you saw her, but she did mount a counterattack onto the Lampblack's home turf. And it seems like it was when everything was said and done, it was a stalemate.
Okay.
They had to retreat.
Cool.
Alright. Anything else anyone's want to do during downtime?
I think we're all done.
I
with
think
downtime.
we're all done, yeah.
Alright. So then it would be on to deciding what's next for you guys. So how does that the follow-up scene of everyone reconverging look? Where does that
think,
take place?
I think probably more than what we do is how does Giuseppe enter, and maybe that will lead to something, or whether that leads to something or not.
Yeah, so let's just say that you guys maybe call a meeting at the Gambit, not the Straight, but the Gambit, to talk about something, talk about your next move. And when you get there, you see the beggar sitting right out front the front door of the Gambit with his tin cup. And I assume that you guys all kind of approached together, like maybe you guys met up somewhere else, or like you guys were like, let's just go get espresso or a croissant first, and then we'll head to the Gambit, like one of those lazy morning meetings where you're like, no one wanted to get up this early, let's just go get something real quick, and then we'll all go back to the place and meet and chat. And when you see him there, like you just recognize him because it's the same shawl, it's the same, like he looks very similar to someone you saw very recently. And instead of saying like, can you spare a coin, when you approach, he stands up and he takes each of your hand, like he reaches out and he takes your hand, and he says, "Thank you, friend." And then he goes to, like, he says, he first goes to Silas, and he like reaches out to grab his hand. Does Silas reciprocate, or?
Silas like looks at him for a sec, and he's kind of like, I mean, what is like? I mean, he's still dressed as a beggar, right?
Correct.
Is it like smelly, dirty?
But here's the thing: like, you see his shawl, which covers him, but like you also see that he's wearing nice pants and shoes. Like, you can see that, like, when he's sitting down in his shawl, you can't see that. But when he's standing up, like, you can tell that, like, something was different.
Okay, so he's not instantly thinking like, this old drunk is trying to shake my hand for some reason. No. Okay, so
Well,
yeah, he probably
might,
like.
But...
No, he's like definitely warily shakes his hand.
Okay. He just says to Silas, "Thank you, friend." And then he looks to Lyric, and grabs your hand, and says, "Thank you, friend." And then he goes to Acasis, and he says, "Thank you very much, friend." And then he takes off his hood, and you see the Weeping Lady mask, and he takes it off, and he just kind of puts it in a pocket in the shawl, and he says, I discovered recently that you may have a space that you need filled. As you can understand, the city is difficult to live in. I wonder if perhaps I may be of some service to you. He's addressing all of you.
Okay. I think Silas probably like looks at the group to like, does anybody want to say something?
Oh, to describe Giuseppe's face, he's like a super handsome, like got the mustache with curls guy.
That's totally how I pictured him. I was like, either he's gonna be butt ugly or
Nope.
super handsome.
Super handsome.
Those are
Completely
the
average.
only two things that
Absolutely
exist.
unremarkable.
No.
In the real world, there's only super ugly and super handsome people.
It's true. Yeah.
Right. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
We're just the lucky ones.
I guess so.
What do you do?
It's a good question. What I do is many things. I seek. I hunt. I
Study. Charade.
you know. But like he starts listing off like things like he scouts. He's like
Verbs.
I what?
He verbs.
I verb, yeah. I'm a man who is no man. I am a man who is not seen, but sees. How do you think I found you here? By the way, your croissants are very nice. Just like at home.
Silas is kind of like
And-
what is this weirdo
and-
saying?
And he
Like,
looks at Lyric and he says, "The whiskey's just, it's not good."
Lyric kind of starts laughing because she was totally tossed that night. She barely remembers anything, but as it kind of comes back to her, she just sort of chuckles.
And then as you chuckle, he looks to Silas and he says, "But that's okay. The coin paid for new booze for the night. Thank you, friend."
he like kind of doesn't fully acknowledge that, like, the thank you, you know. He like lets it say, and then he's like, "So how'd you hear about us? What you doing here?"
I heard about you from a friend, a friend of a friend. You may not
What
know
friend?
You may not know him. His name is Ojak. It's hard for me to say Ojak. Oyak.
Wait.
I don't know. He runs the the night market. You have a friend, or had a friend, I haven't figured which, who knew Ojak, knows Ojak. Maybe not anymore, but the old man. What is his name?
Oscar?
Ah, Oscar. Yeah, he is a friend of a friend.
How come he never said something about you? What?
He doesn't know that he's a friend of a friend. Again, I'm a man who's not seen, but who sees.
Okay. So I think Silas is like, there's like a moment of like, and then he kind of just says, it's like there's a very like, I could totally just not believe you, and then he just clearly is just like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
this
halfway
isn't important.
Like halfway through that process, he says, "You are so kind. Why have you not invited me into your home? You are not good guests. You should bring me inside. I have information for you."
Well, right this way, I guess.
He waits for you to show him the door, and follows.
What a door looks like. You walk through there.
Unless you're Hester, in which case you go around another way. Yeah. He follows you guys in and sits down at the table.
As the group enters, Silas is the last one to enter, and he just like locks the door. Like, imagine it's like, it's like the scene in the movie where it's like there's like 7 locks on the door,
at least,
and all of them lock. Yeah.
Maybe
all of them.
Maybe even like you get six of them down, and you like turn around, and Giuseppe is like, "You forgot one. It's that one at the bottom."
Silas like kind of probably gives him a look. He's like, "We lost the key for that one."
I think 6 will be fine then.
I think it's underkill, personally.
Giuseppe takes off his cloak and sets it on the chair behind him, and you see again he's pretty nicely dressed. He's got like a shoulder holster with like a handgun there. Yeah. He's not like gaudy dressed. Like he doesn't have like gold chains anywhere or anything like that. He just has like a nice looking vest and shirt. Like it doesn't look bad. But there's no like jewelry or anything like that. So he says, "I went to the lamp blacks, the Basho. You know Basho?
For a man who knows a lot, you don't know how to say people's names very well, do you?"
It's a problem. You see, I am not from the city, though I am here and have lived here. My tongue is not at home here.
Basho stands up from the table and goes to get some whiskey.
Basho, his men. I have gone to one of his men, a survivor from the most recent attack, and I have spoken to him. He says that he was attacked by a boat. You have property on the strait or the canal. Do you know about any boats that have come through?
Who saw Malira?
Oscar
Remind
did.
me. Oscar.
That's the worst part.
Well, dang. So I guess would none of us know that?
No one has seen a boat. You would market yourselves as a safe haven, but you have not watched the boats? What are you... Why do you... This does not make sense to me.
So Oscar said nothing about that. He didn't mention it at all.
No.
He was like,
There was
okay.
no time.
There was
for
no
him
time to mention it.
communicate that.
So, yeah, he didn't. He says, anyway, there was a boat. They were attacked by 20, maybe 30 men. and though it was a stalemate, no one won. It was a very large attack on their turf. It might be behoove us to maybe seek out employment from the one who needs our help. That would be Basho. Basho Bash.
We know him.
You know Basho?
Yes.
Okay.
Silas
well.
probably looks at Silas looks at Wakasis and he's like, Wakasis, do you want to help Bajo?
We can work for him again, but I don't think I can start that conversation.
Why not? Are you afraid of
I
Basho?
know. No. Believe me, I'm not. I know him.
Exactly that.
I know him, and I know his wife too.
Oh. I see.
I would. Has
But I've only
Wakasis
met her
mentioned
perhaps,
once or
perhaps Basho is maybe not the man that we should work for. Perhaps I should go. Maybe we do not have it. I do not work for Basho, but I do not work for the sashes, the red sashes. I do not work for them, certainly. They are stupid. Why would... And he, like, starts going on this like, rant. He goes, it is fucking... What year is it? Whatever year it is. And he's like, why are we still using fucking swords and acting like that's cool? This is not... This is the modern age. There are giant whales, demon whales, that are out there to be hunted. And he just keeps on going. And he's basically like, why aren't people using guns? Like, we have guns. Why are these idiots using swords? I would never fight for them. They're so stupid.
Silas, like, takes his knuckle dusters, which are, like, super heavy and big, and he just, like, slams them down on the table and he looks at him.
Those are, like, brass knuckles, right?
Yeah, they're, like, but they're, like, the bigger, slightly more aggressive-looking cousin to the brass knuckles.
Yeah, so Giuseppe looks at them and he says, see, these are good. These you can put in your pockets. A sword, you have at your hip. It is stupid. It comes out like this. It does not do anything. Your gun is just the same size, but it shoots for so much farther than a sword. Why would you ever have a sword as your signature weapon? This is stupid. These I like.
We don't work for the Red Sashes either.
Good. They're stupid.
Okay, so it's like, puts his nose in his drink.
See, it's funny because Lyric actually, she has like, oh gosh, what are those called? The long curved swords.
A scimitar.
Scimitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually has one of those. It's not on her person, but I imagine she has it stashed under the floorboards or something, and she just kind of, glances, doesn't engage at this point because clearly this guy's got some issues. But
No,
she's
yeah.
Whoa, he's got some opinions.
I think Silas totally looks at her and, like, gives her, like, a knowing glance, like...
She just winks at Silas.
Yeah, he just continues on about how he can totally see a knife making sense, but, like, why would your knife need to be several feet long? That's so stupid. He's like, you can make a bullet that goes way further, way faster, for way cheaper.
Anyway, besides talking
Yeah,
about...
you have to cut him off, because he will keep talking until one of you,
Other
like...
than the length of their weapons, is there another reason you're picking a side here?
I have spent many evenings on the street. In fact, I have spent most of my life on the street, and many of the gangs of Duskville, they do not have heart. They do not have purpose. They kill and steal, and they do not give anything back. They do not care for the place where they are or the people they are around. I'm not certain. I'm not sure, but it seems to me maybe you care. about something. It does not have to be the same thing I care about, but you care about something. This is good. That you care. I seek out good company. You
In the wrong place for that.
You seem like good company. Plus, I need work.
And Silas, like, as soon as he says the work, Silas is like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Okay.
You maybe do not understand the conditions that I live in. The work is needed. It is appreciated for not just myself, for others. I come with the gift of information. We can take this and do as we want with it. It doesn't have to be what we do. We can ignore it entirely. But I figured, if I come into your home and I have nothing to show for it, what have I done but stolen your goods? This is not worth it to me. I have brought you a gift. You can take it, you can leave it. I am also offering my services as not a gift, but as a friend, as a maybe not friend. Maybe you do not have friend. As a crew member, crew memer.
Memer.
Yeah.
We do need those dank memes. That's for sure.
We run on memes of the dankest kind.
100% driven by memes. We ready to take a break, Matt? You want to take
Sure.
a quick fiver?
Sure. Yeah. In fact, let's do it this way. Giuseppe, he just I imagine that no one says anything to him, and he sits there with his hands like this on the table, and he's like, "Okay, I understand. I will go. If you need me, please take this. Put it somewhere I can see it." And he doesn't tell you where that is, but he slides a card onto the table. It's this bright green card, and he just slides it onto the table, and he gets up and walks out.
Is there anything on the card?
It's a bright green card.
I mean, he gets
So
up
it's a
and he
magic
walks to the
card.
the door where I have to lock.
Oh yeah,
all
he
locks
walks
for
over to
him.
it and he looks and he's like, and will you please? Thank you. And as as you do that, he goes up and he kisses your cheek. Not
He doesn't-
So it's
lovingly, but it's the Italian cheek kiss, but he only does it once because this is dusk.
Okay.
So
He does that, and I think the door swings shut, and Silas is looking away from the other two.
if this is an anime, he's got the teardrop and the lines under his eyes.
It's very much why did I have to talk to that man? He's basically the type of person I don't handle very well. And then he's just
Good.
sighs, and he looks back at the group, and he's it looks like he goes to say something, and then I think it cuts.
Yeah, and there is where we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We will be back in about 5 minutes, everybody, and we're going to continue onward for the next hour. We'll be going on until 9 p.m. Pacific. Before we go, thanks to all of the new followers, and if any of you are in here, all the followers who have followed since last time we streamed. I can only assume that either you are Mr. Destructoid bots, or you have come in and followed after seeing the VODs on our YouTube. So thank you. I hope you're enjoying the series. I hope you're enjoying the show. And we will see you in about 5 minutes. See ya.